Shout out to everybody. We are back. So it looked like the lefties are losing it. First of all, I do want to say shout out, you know what I mean? We got what's her name? I think her name is Rita. She's back. So she's on this show, which is fire. And the show is called Sky News Australia. And she's doing a segment kind of going in, you know what I mean, on the Democratic side, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But it says lefties losing it. It says black voters head out at Barack Obama, right? But one thing I do want to show you guys is Kamala Harris was caught on a hot mic. What is this, bro? She was caught on a hot mic. Listen to this.
We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while.
Who is she talking to? Who is she talking to? Talking about live broadcast.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while.
Remember there was like people talking about Kamala Harris. They were saying things like, yo, she had those earrings that had a speaker in them and all of that. How is this happening?
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there is a lot of media following this briefing.
I don't know, guys. How many times has she had a microphone in it? You know what I mean? Somebody whisper in her ear. I don't know. I don't know.
Ivy League to the ghetto.
So, friends, 64 days. Let's just get through the next 64 days.
She's even pulled out a little Latino heat in recent weeks, but I believe this may be the first time she's tried a Jamaican accent.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
She's so...
This is ridiculous, bruh. I even have that. Shout out to them, man. I even have that on my Twitter. Like, this is crazy.
Empathy, man.
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
Time she's tried a Jamaican accent.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose?
She's so authentic, so likable and confident, of course. Yes.
She be cracking me up, bruh. Shout out to everybody. Somebody said, rise and shine. Shout out to all the subscribers. We got PGZ in here. We got Marcus Chapman said, listen to me. Shout out to you. We got Artemis in here said, she say something crazy. She on the hot mic. Stop trying to make excuses. The mic is hot and she getting caught. She not supposed to be having no mic out here, bro.
Now, Kamala has a man problem, and it's not just Doug knock him out, Emhoff. No, he's not the only one causing her headaches. But the fact that so many American men, including black men, do not want to vote for her. Now, the reasons are numerous. They're real and valid reasons. But of course, the simplistic take is that these...
Yo, she is hilarious. I don't know why this lady... Is she on Saturday Night Live? I mean, SNL? Like, I don't think she is. She needs to be on there. She is hilarious. She is the best person that they have, bro.
Men must be
on Sky News Australia.
Sexist. Here is Barack Obama lecturing the brothers, as he calls them, on why they must back Kamala.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities, as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
He then went on to
Somebody said she's racially ambiguous. Y'all is crazy, bruh. That is why I cannot get over this lady like with a hot mic, bro.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
So y'all don't think she had them special earrings? Like I'm just asking.
lecture them about why they must pick Kamala and why any reluctance must be due to what sexist, misogynist monsters they are.
You just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And
it's not that we're not feeling that. Like, we're not feeling the last 4 years under this administration. Are y'all feeling that? I'm not feeling that. I feel like, you know what I mean, previously in the Trump administration, it's a little bit better. That's what I think. That's what I feel. I think that's what a lot of African-American brothers are feeling right now. They feel like they don't want you to sit there to be tricking us and trying to guilt us into voting for somebody. That's what they feel. You have nothing to say, Obama.
Coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what...
Wake up, people. Do not let these people trick you. Wait a minute, Thug Life. You can't get us, Obama. You can't trick us, bro.
Being a man is putting women down. That's
exactly. Sassy just said, right, don't guilt trip me. Like, what? That is insane, bro. It's all about the color of the skin now, not about the content and character. Not about the Martin Luther King thing, right?
Now, that little rant inspired some feedback from members of the black community, male and female.
I want Barack Obama and every Democrat out there to know, you do not own black people. We are not slaves. Our chains are gone.
Hit the like button, Thug Life. What is y'all doing? Wait a minute. Y'all getting ready for workout, you know what I mean? Y'all about to go on with y'all day. Shout out. But hit that like button. We got to get this video out here. We trying to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. This ain't enough. Thug Life. Hit the like button. Shout out.
We do not owe you anything, and we don't have to give you an account for how we choose to vote.
The Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact...
Yo, can you see how bad this is backfiring? Obama thought he was going to come out here and bully everybody into voting for Kamala and everything was going to be fine. Now your legacy is looking crooked. Shout out. Everybody I can't say your legacy is crooked. It is what it is. But right now, people are kind of questioning you. People may start digging in to see what Barack Obama has been doing in his presidency.
The fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. But if it was a white politician shaming other white men for...
Imagine if... Oh, my God. Think about that. If Trump was to go live and say, all you white men... need to, like, y'all don't need to be voting for her. Like, what? Imagine if he did that. Look at the double standard. This is crazy. Wait a minute. Imagine if he did that. They would have a field day with Trump. But Barack Obama can get out here and race bait, and that's fine. He think because he gave people an Obama phone, everybody just gonna rock with him. This is insane, bro.
not voting based on identity politics, y'all will call him racist. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me? Why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That is racist, brother.
And crazy. And insane.
I don't know how else to put it. That is racism. I don't have to vote for Kamala because she's quote unquote black. Just like I shouldn't have voted for yo because you got up there, you tap dance for the establishment, and you ain't do a goddamn for the black people that put you in office.
Thug life! Hit the like button.
You brother.
You ain't did a thing for us in the 8 years that you was in the White House.
She got the little bonnet thing up. Like, she is about to go in on Obama, bro. It's about to happen.
And you think you gonna pop up during an election year and try to scold black men for not wanting to vote for your candidate? Have you lost mind?
Yeah, DJ Eric, this is reverse racism. This is like unacceptable. He's in a position of power saying things like that. That's crazy.
I spent 7 years of my life fighting your administration, you and Biden, by the way, for my husband's military benefits. My daughter died because of Obamacare.
Amma MA magazine said Kamala definitely not black. I don't know what she is. Like, I'm gonna be real, but all I know is Candace Owens ended up breaking down her family tree, and it's questionable. People are wondering, what is this lady? I don't mind like who you are. Like you can be purple and be president. I don't care about that. Just don't try to trick me and swindle me and make up family members. They have still not answered Candace Owens. I wonder why. They were quick to say something about Janet Jackson. Oh, Janet Jackson, she wilding like... Prove her wrong. They haven't done that.
I don't give a about you.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one.
Thug life! You ain't about to tell us what we gonna do, Obama? Wait a minute! Who he think he is, bro?
I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it, and she hasn't shown the fact that she wants.
And that's why DeSantis didn't answer her calls. Because he didn't want to make this whole Milton situation a political game. Like, he didn't want to be involved in that. He like, I got to get my people straight. This is what we doing. I'm addressing the state. This is what we doing. I ain't got time for her. She already got like a situation she can't deal with in North Carolina. So I ain't got time for her right now. This is what we doing. He taking care of his state. I don't think he's getting much blowback at all. I think people rocking with him, DeSantis. People are like, oh, this is our governor. This is how he rock. Shout out to DeSantis.
Wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
What you thought you was doing, Barack Obama? Boy, you didn't step
Oh, he done got the hat and everything. It is over. It's over. Wait a minute. He got the hat out. Thug life. Y'all not about to make y'all don't own us.
All you did was...
And black men should be mad anymore. Thug life, we should be mad. They didn't push this welfare out. Making it to where women don't want the man in the house no more. Thug life, I said it. We should be mad at the lefties. We should be. I mean, vote for who you want to vote for. I do want to say that. Vote for who you want to vote for. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking thug life. But then y'all want to make it to where it's advantageous not to have the man in the house. Is that what Lyndon Johnson wanted? Is that what he wanted? Then y'all want to sit in y'all recliners, chiefing on y'all cigars and laughing about us being like a one-parent household. And y'all the ones that did this. This is insane. Like, people should be mad. It's crazy.
Black men off, bruh. All you did was black men off. Why y'all think the American people why y'all think the Democrat Party own black folk? The Democrat Party don't own black folks, bruh. What you thought you was doing with that? We see the play. We see the play. Kamala Harris is losing. She's not gonna win.
The audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
That's just a sample.
Y'all better wake up, bruh. They are losing and getting desperate. Losing and getting desperate.
The incident.
Let me see if I can show y'all that.
Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump.
Hold on, let me show y'all from my Twitter. They playing music. Y'all gotta stop that music, though. I rock with y'all. Y'all gotta stop that music. This lady, shout out to this white lady, Thug Life. She ends up saying, she's talking about the Venezuelans. And she goes ahead and said there's only a handful of apartment complexes that's being overrun by Venezuelans. Like, that's okay. JD Vance went off on her. He not dealing with that.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs.
Do you hear yourself, Miss Lady? Wait a minute. What you mean only a handful? Oh, I cannot believe what she just said. JD Vance, go in on Miss Lady, bro. Go in on Miss Lady. Miss Lady wildin', bro.
And Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again.
And they're worried about getting votes from people that are illegal because, you know, you don't need an ID anymore to just go in there and vote in some of these places. They're trying to do away with that. It's ridiculous. Imagine being American, paying taxes, and then somebody else can just come over here and just not even technically really be legal and just vote because there's no voter ID. That could potentially happen.
And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences. And we're
Sassy in the comment section just said, audacity must be on sale for Democrats. Exactly, right?
Living with.
But I can't believe she said this, though.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
They were just saying in the media. Y'all remember what they were saying in the media? Oh, they're making this up. This is not happening. They're making this up. It's overblown. It was just an isolated incident. No, bro. Now she's saying it's a handful of incidents. Handful of apartment complexes. This is what she's saying. What y'all think about that?
Gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened.
Martha.
I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a
Recreational Bliss said up early on the grind. Shout out to you, bro. I don't sleep. I don't believe in it. We got an election coming up. We got to pay attention to this. We can get to the entertainment and all of that some other time. But we running out of time. And people don't know half of this stuff that's going on. They know a lot about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. They know a lot about J. Cole. They know a lot about Nicki Minaj. They know a lot about Post Malone right now. They know a lot about Diddy. They know a lot about Garth Brooks right now. They know a lot about a lot. But a lot of people are not seeing some of these videos. And I feel like, hey, it's my duty at least every 4 years to kind of wake people up. But it comes with a problem, right? The algorithm may end up getting messed up on certain social media platforms. I'm not saying this about YouTube. I'm just saying in general, right? So we need y'all to hit the like button. Thug life. We not dealing with this.
Full of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs.
Now it's time for lefties losing
That
it.
is crazy.
Enemy of the people. So let's just dive right in with this interview.
Well, Martha, you just said the mayor said they were exaggerated.
Grossly
that
exaggerated.
Means that there's got to be some. That means there's got to be some element of truth here. And of course, President Trump was actually in Aurora, Colorado, talking to people on.
Y'all hit the super chat if y'all can. Shout out Thug Life. Apartment A said the crazy thing is they're still gonna win. We are in an age of, hey, you just did that. No, I didn't. I don't think they're gonna win, bro. Like the guy from Sync from the Young Turks did a blog and said that, yo, she's down in the polls. And he said he's worried. Charlamagne the God is like saying that she's out of touch. A lot of people are starting to wake up and come forward and say how they really feel. And we played a lot of reels of that the last live that we did. It got like 100,000 views. Shout out to y'all, Thug Life. People are waking up. Thug Life. Hit the subscribe button. It's right there above you. Wait a minute. They tired of this.
On the ground. And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened.
Martha.
I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Well, this Kamala lady got a lot of things going on, don't she, y'all? She got like a hurricane situation that she just had to deal with. She getting caught on the hot mic and people starting to find out that she got an earpiece. She's doing interviews saying the same sound bites over and over again. We got like, I think she did a 60 Minutes interview. They told her within the last couple of years, the number of people flooding in has quadrupled. And it sounds like she got a lot on her hands. The Venezuelans are overrunning apartment complexes. She got a lot to deal with. But you know who else is in her party? Biden. What is Biden saying about all this? He's been very, very quiet about a lot. It took him a while to even talk about the hurricane situation. Have y'all noticed that? This is ridiculous. You got this lady talking about I'm sorry, excuse me. It's only a handful of apartment complexes. Like what?
Grossly
That
exaggerated.
means there's got to be some element of truth here. And of course,
Exactly, J-Dub, POV. A handful, we shouldn't have any. But they can't control it, right? They don't want to control it. Obama, I will give him credit. When he was president, he was sending people back left and right. They said he was super strict. But I guess they figured out, let's let everybody come in, and then eventually they'll be able to vote. Then we won't need the black vote. Then we won't need to, you know what I'm saying? So me, you know, if a lot of them come in, you know, we have fewer people to pander to because they're obviously going to vote for us because we letting them in. A handful of apartment complexes.
President Trump was actually in Aurora, Colorado, talking to people on the ground. And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly.
Exactly. Hey, DJ Eric said, you know it's bad when Charlemagne gives up on the Biden, gives up, he rolled Biden to the polls. Like, yeah, he's low-key, like, letting it be known. You know what I mean?
Exactly what happened.
And we did a video on that. Shout out Thug Life. We mixed it in like one of our blogs.
Stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so.
Imagine if y'all had to deal with that. You want to pay your rent and then somebody's coming to your house with a blick telling you that you got to give them your money. Imagine dealing with that and then getting no help. You got Hell's Angels coming down trying to help, but they are getting stopped. So it's like, oh, they're making this up. It's not really a problem. Like what is wrong? Y'all panicking for nothing. The governor's not really talking about it. This is literal lunacy.
Much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
Okay, let's just...
Leo said, stop paying your taxes and you'll stop paying the government. Bro, like they are the biggest business in America, bro. If you stop doing that, they come and they take you, they take your assets, they take you, haul you off and put you in a prison. Like they can do anything to you. This is a company that y'all are thinking should be bigger. Not you, but like these blue people think should be bigger. They should give them more leeway and use the federal government to put more controls in and have more branches of government that's going to cost more money and have more taxes. You know what I mean? Like taxes would be raised to fund it and to tell you what to do more and create different rules for you and hire like 86,000 IRS agents and do all that. Like, bro, if y'all pay attention to what's going on. It's a party that's going on. We not invited. And like I always say, Barack Obama, he could sit there and he could try to shame. He could do all of this. The blue party can try to like, you know, convince us that they're on our side. They're working for us. The reason why they never go after the rich like they say they're going to, right? And have the rules changed and the tax code to where the richest of the rich end up paying their fair share. It never happens. They end up slowly raising taxes on you. The reason why a lot of this goes on is because they are rich. Look who Kamala Harris used to date. Look at the type of people she be hanging out with. Montel Williams. She trying to hang with the rich, the elite. She not trying to hang with regular folk. That ain't her style. Obama's got $70 million in his banks. What can he tell us? This man can go out and get paid $100,000 for a speech. $500,000 for a speech. He's probably never worked a day in his life. He worked on the books, Thug Life. Going around grassroots movements, trying to get elected, whatever. Has he been a laborer? Has he been a school teacher? Has he been a firefighter, a policeman? Has he been a nurse? Has he been driving 18-wheelers? Has he been a security guard? Has he had to do all of these things? Is what I wonder. I just wonder. Or has his life been cushy and easy? Things that make you go,
Let's just end that with they did not invade or take over the city, as Donald Trump said. I want to move on to
just a few
women.
What? Is she real? Is she serious? They must have paid her a lot of money. Like, let's just, we're going to give you a bonus. Just get up here and say something like really ridiculous. And stand on it.
Else here, we've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen.
94 executive orders that undid Trump's policies. His border policies. What? Are y'all hearing this? Why do you think she did a town hall meeting with Univision and she didn't do a town hall meeting with everybody else? And the lady was grilling her about her parents being here illegal and not having access to the health care that they deserve. And ask Kamala Harris, what are you going to do to make sure people who are living in the shadows, which are people that are here illegally, what are you going to do to make sure they get the health care that they deserve? I did a whole live on that. Guess what happened? Univision hit me with a copyright. It wasn't everything I reacted to. It was a little part that they hit me for, right? The part where it showed Kamala Harris with a teleprompter. Thug Life. They don't want that getting out. I got an option. I could just trim out the segment, or I could dispute it. If I dispute it, I run the risk of losing the monetization for that video. I'm disputing it. And you know why? Because I want that part in that video. It's blocked in multiple different countries. Why did they do that? Instead of, if they would have just hit the whole video, I would have been like, all right, I ain't got no problem. Why'd they hit that little part? Why don't y'all want people to know that she can at least read? She can read a teleprompter. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Thug Life, I'm leaving it up.
They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
Okay, let's just end that with they did not invade or take over the city, as Donald Trump said. I want to.
Let's just end that. They did not invade and take over the city like Donald Trump said. Did y'all just hear what she said and she tried to skate by? What do you mean? There's like multiple different apartment complexes that are being overran by Venezuelans. What are you talking about? Like Donald Trump is wrong. Donald Trump is right about that, Miss Lady.
to move on to
hit the like button, Thug Life. Why don't I have 100,000 subscribers? Why do the YouTube algorithm just like, oh, well, let's give the Young Turks 6 million subscribers. Let's keep pushing them out there and pushing them out there and pushing them out there and let them put their propaganda out there and their propaganda out there. I'm not saying y'all doing that, YouTube. I'm ranting right now. But I've shown a lot of videos over the past week that people said they have never seen before. There's people saying, oh, I can't find the like button. Sometimes I go on there, I'm like, yeah, where is the like button? I can't find it. But they can get up there and spew all of this lunacy.
No big deal.
a few apartment complexes that the mayor did not seem was invading the entire city.
Yeah, do you see how snarky she is? She clearly hates Trump so much that she's not even willing to just acknowledge the facts. It is a fact that a gang took over not one, but multiple apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado.
Thank you for opening up your eyes. What is his name? Devoy Darkins. Shout out. I am subscribing to you. I think everybody should subscribe to him. Because he's awake. He sees the play. He sees what's going on. Shout out to everybody that subscribe. I got subscribers only. So if you are in here talking, then I can see you. You know what I'm saying? I know you subscribe. Shout out to y'all.
They were collecting rents. Okay. They caused people to leave their homes. Okay. And these people are not here legally. So it is true that this is happening. And Aurora, Colorado happens to be the town that got viral attention. There's probably more towns out there that is yet to hit mainstream news media in regards to stories like this. We have to go back to a clip early in 2021 where Secretary Mayorkas admits to what the administration did when it came to the border. Check this out.
And I'd like to understand from you what
Shout out to Sugar Black. She's the moderator. Shout out.
Trump era immigration policies have been banned, ended, reversed, and if any investigations are underway by you.
So we have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies. It would take so much time to list them.
You heard what he said. There's too many executive orders from former President Trump to list that they repealed, that they got rid of. There was a secure border in place when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden took office. And what did they do? They opened up the border. That's how we got to where we are today. And for some people,
they opened up the border. And the only thing that I can agree with 60 Minutes, when they pressed her on that and said within the past couple of years, the amount of people coming in have quadrupled. And the amount of fentanyl coming in it and all of that is increased. She said, oh, well, we cut the amount of fentanyl by half. What are you doing about the border, lady? Thug life. Tell us what you doing. I don't care. People get mad. Oh, Piper Boy, talk about battle rap, talk about entertainment, no. There's a problem going on and it's being masked. You think Facebook gonna let that out? Facebook is liberal, allegedly. Thug life. They own Instagram. Twitter was liberal. Elon Musk had to get involved because he's seen how it was. People who are Republican were getting suspended. Not because they were acting out and saying anything outlandish and all. They were getting suspended because of their views. Look at what just happened with Candace Owens. Candace Owens almost got deplatformed because she had a Kanye West interview. She got suspended on YouTube. And that's why she went to Rumble. People don't realize, oh, why did she go to Rumble? Well, that's why, Thug Life. You ain't about to stop me. I'm Candace Owens. You know who I is? I got fans. And they went and they followed her to Rumble. Next thing I know, she's unsuspended. because you make more money with her on YouTube than without her. She doing millions of views a video. And she stood up, she pushed the limits, and she said, like, you know, free speech, you're supposed to have free speech. Good luck on TikTok. TikTok's so scared that the liberals are going to take TikTok from them. They ban your videos for every little thing you do. They take your audio. They issue you warnings. Say something anti-liberal. I'm not anti-liberal. I'm just Republican. Thug life. It is what it is. Go on TikTok and say something. Watch you wake up in the morning and your audio is gone. And they put legislation for it anyway to get rid of TikTok. So it didn't work. Y'all try to treat us like we in China. We're supposed to have free speech. It has limits. I get it. Can't just be out here saying anything. Reckless endangerment of the truth and all that. Can't be doing that. I get it. But this is ridiculous. Like, we don't see, it's hard to find real news. Yeah, if I'm Elon Musk, I got $200 billion or something crazy. I'm buying Twitter. There's a problem here. They're controlling all the social media. Look at all of these social media companies. I ain't saying which one. Thug Life, look it up. The big ones. They are heavy donors to the blue people. It is what it is. Just saying what it is.
People out there, they're so emotional, they don't want to acknowledge that truth, right? And so it's good that the American people are not.
Yeah, the First Amendment and the Second Amendment is being attacked. It definitely is. The First Amendment has been under attack for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, they're never going to stop attacking it. They're making it. Remember when you used to, like, be able to, and I'm not telling y'all to do this or nothing like that. I just want to put that out here. Remember when people used to picket and go out and march, Occupy Wall Street, all that? You know what I'm saying? People thought they were really going to do something. But before that, years ago, picketing actually worked. Now they don't care. We just watched the guy that was on the row, right? Who was locked up there, was about to take his life from him. And they did. They walked into the governor's office with 1 million signatures to have the governor try to have this guy's case tried again. 1 million signatures. Not 1,000, not 2,000, 1 million. They still allowed the guy to be gone. So freedom of speech, it's always been under attack, but they're invalidating it. Oh, yeah, we hear the voices of the people, but we don't care. We're going to do what we want to do anyway. People are occupying Wall Street. They sitting up there in the balconies, smoking cigars and drinking. Smoking cigars and drinking. Laughing at everybody that's down there. It's crazy. So, yeah, they really got to try. And you know who's after free speech? I mean, it's the people that put forth legislation to get rid of TikTok. But let me show you who else is going after free speech. Because they think free speech is a problem. Free speech is something that is a danger that needs to be controlled. Let me show you who is a proponent of monitoring or censoring social media. Listen to what Hillary Clinton says.
If the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm. Did
you just hear what this lady said? She wants social media censored. How old is she, like 80 or something? I don't know. Thug life. She is out of touch. They don't like alternative media sources at all. Anybody that can tell you anything different than the norm, they do not like that. They want to be able to propagandize y'all. Both parties, really. Thug life. It is what it is. They want to be able to propagandize y'all. You have limited access to alternative media. She is a big proponent of that. And her party went ahead and put forth legislation to get rid of TikTok. To force a sale on TikTok. That's why TikTok was so scared taking audio away. You say something a little bit rocky, they take the video down. That's why I don't even post on TikTok. It's ridiculous.
If the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm. But if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or...
That's crazy, yo.
Not that stupid, because every time they do these surveys and every time they do these polls, the numbers continue to scream that border security is a huge issue and whatever.
Let me show y'all this. It's because I rock with y'all, right? President Biden signs law to ban TikTok nationwide unless it is sold. Yeah, if I'm a social media owner. You know what I mean? Of people who have content creation, right? I'm going to probably be liberal. I'm probably going to show my undying support so they don't come after me with this. That's why you better be careful about what you say on Facebook. You better be careful about any little thing you say on Instagram. President Biden on Wednesday signed a law that would ban Chinese-owned TikTok unless it is sold within a year. It is the most serious threat yet to the video streaming app's future in the U.S., intensifying America's tech war with China. Still, the law is not expected to cause any immediate disruption to TikTok, as a forthcoming legal challenge and various hurdles to selling the app will most likely cause months of delay. The measure will... This is crazy, bro. This is insane. The measure was tucked into a bill providing foreign aid for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. These social media companies are terrified of Biden. The law stipulates that ByteDance must sell its stake in TikTok in 12 months under the threat of being shut down. Have y'all heard that? Is that nice? Is that like, and then they want to go ahead and promote Kamala Harris on TikTok after they just did that.
Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Secretary Mayorkas is trying to sell, Americans are just not buying. Listen to this.
Border crossings are now at a low for the Biden presidency. But our CBS polling shows 65% of Trump voters believe the Biden administration is trying to intentionally increase the number of migrants at the border. And among the people who do believe that, 3/4 of them say it's because the administration wants them to vote. And the Speaker of the House just told us that he thinks non-citizens are going to vote, even though this is already illegal under established law. What mechanisms can you tell the public about that exist to prevent this from happening?
So what a powerful example of disinformation. There is no facts underlying these assertions. They are extremely damaging. It causes people to lose confidence in the integrity of the election system. And we need people in positions of authority to actually communicate accurate information to the voting public.
It is true that there have been illegals that have voted in elections. Has it been millions of them? No, but it does happen. Just because
Somebody was in my chat saying that I'm making this up. in one of my chats. Y'all just heard that, didn't y'all? Oh, it can't happen. Like, illegals can't vote. Well, they're getting rid of voter ID in California. A lot of other states are going to try that. They want them to be coming here so that they can vote. And so they don't need you anymore. Because they can give them less than what they have to give you and still get their vote. Because they're just happy to be here. And then people are wondering, like, why the housing is getting more expensive. Oh, Kamala don't care, do nothing about the housing prices. She ain't got nothing to do with that. If people are flooding over here, they need a place to live. America is advantageous. People are merciless when it comes to the economy and the market, right? So if there's more people coming into an area and there's less housing, what is the landlord going to do? He's going to try to get the most amount of money that he can. Who's ever willing to pay the most amount of money gets the lease. Right? People want to buy houses. You save up all your money for all these years to get 20% down on the house so you can do like a conventional loan. Now in your area, it's crazy expensive to buy a house. You can't fathom the thought of having like a $2,000 mortgage. And now you got business owners who used to, or you know, people that, you know, would build buildings and lease the office space. They started getting hit when the pandemic, people wasn't going to work. So people stopped leasing out office space as frequently as they did. So they hatched a plan. And the plan wasn't to build more buildings. The plan was to start buying up houses to make Americans renters again. So now you got those people you got to deal with. And you got people that's coming over here, right? Who's hustling, getting money however they can get it, giving the money to whoever might be here legally. They're buying the house. 12 of them are living in it. Things that make you go, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. But that happens. Bruh, I was riding my motorcycle. Thug life I was riding my motorcycle, right? I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I was riding through Brentwood, right? About to go to Cool Springs Mall, all that. They got this section that's got a lot of mansions. So I was driving by and I seen this mansion. I'm like, man, this mansion is fire. So I'm like, what I need to do to like own something like this? So I'm like stopped on the side of the road and I'm just looking at it. I type in the address on Zillow just to see what this house is worth, to see what I got to do in my life to get this, right? This guy comes out and he's really nice. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to me or whatever. And I was like, man, this is just a beautiful property, you know, and I look like a thug. It is what it is. He's probably worried. And so I'm like, what do you guys do to own this house? And he's like, oh, a lot of my family came over here from Mexico. And, you know, we all like, you know, worked and we all just chip in and we live here. It was a nice house. I ain't gonna even lie. But, I mean, that's a nice area. Just imagine what's happening in the regular areas. They all chipping in, and then one person goes and they buy the house. And you know what I mean? And it's just you and your wife. Or you and your girlfriend. Or you and your kid. And you trying to make it. You tired of renting. You want to paint the house. You want to have another dog. They want to charge you all this money just to have a dog. Charge you all this money. You know what I mean? You want to make alterations to the house? You can't do nothing because you're renting. You got to ask for permission. They're going up on the rent. They not fixing what they need to fix. I'm not going to keep renting. I'm buying a house. Thug life. Surprise. You talk to a realtor. The realtor makes you talk to a lender. The lender tell you what's really going on, what the interest rates are. You start looking at what amortization schedule is. And these high interest rates, you start getting like, oh, I don't know if I want to buy a house now. A lot of this has been happening in the last 4 years. Wake up. I bought my house under the Trump administration. It was easier. Thug life. 4.25 interest rates. I feel sorry for people who are trying to make it out here now. Doing everything that they're supposed to do right. The American dream. Next thing you know, a hurricane comes out of nowhere and hits your house. You lose everything. You've been paying taxes. Next thing you know, they tell you, oh, $750, not each. That's for the whole household. You're hearing rumblings of Elon Musk trying to send people down there to bring in Starlink internet and he getting turned around. You're hearing stories of people trying to bring food and they're getting turned around. You hear stories of people trying to fly in food, care packages for people, and the FAA is turning them around. And you out there wondering, who's going to help me? And Kamala Harris is sitting up doing a press, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, talking to the FEMA people, Thug Life, for a photo op. And you out there and you done lost there. You don't know what your phone is. You don't know what your wallet is. You don't know what nothing is. I can't even remember nobody's number no more because of phones. Smartphones. So now you can't get in touch with people. Some people have lost family members. And she's smiling and she going on all these weird TV shows and all these weird YouTube channels. And Biden is chilling at the beach. And you're hoping, you're looking at the fake news, you're looking at CNN, hoping CNN gonna tell you something. And they blaming Trump. And you waiting for help. Meanwhile, she's sending $1.5 billion over there to Ukraine. This is literal insanity that's going on in this country. Literal insanity.
Something is illegal doesn't mean people won't do it.
And then Obama want to shame us. What was the speech? What didn't Obama do a speech on the hurricane? I don't know. I don't think he did.
Especially people who did not grow up in this country. People who are already criminals that have escaped their country and crossed over our border. Why would they follow the law? That doesn't make any sense. And as a matter,
why would they follow the law? And all they got to do is just come over here and vote. Can you imagine that? Like what they must be thinking? Because when I leave the country, like, because sometimes, like, you know what I mean? I go out of the country. It is what it is. I like to travel, right? A lot of them don't think we're smart. I mean, we're not education system compared to other ones. We're not as smart as some of them. It is what it is. But a lot of these people feel like, oh my God, they just letting us come over here and just vote and change their government. These people aren't as smart as we thought they were.
People won't do it, especially people who did not grow up in this country. People who are already criminals that have escaped their country and crossed over our border. Why would they follow the law? That doesn't make any sense. And as a matter of fact, if I was in their shoes, I would want to vote for Kamala Harris because I know I was only able to cross the border because of them. Why would I vote for former President Trump? I know he's going to come after me. It's just a lack of common sense.
Exactly. Thank you, Devory Darkins. Shout out to you. Subscribe to his channel. He's putting in that work. He's putting in that pay.
from these people, and the numbers continue to add up, and they're continuing to report on these issues. Listen to this news story.
New numbers from U.S. Customs and Border Protection show another dramatic increase in arrests at the Swanton sector. Officials say the average apprehensions went from about 1,000 to nearly 20,000 in just a 2-year period.
Remember the guy from 60 Minutes saying, the amount of people coming here within the past 2 years has quadrupled. What are you going to do about it? Do y'all know what she did? She went to Univision. And when she was at Univision, guess what they did? They didn't even be considerate to speak to her in English. They didn't. But the one lady that did was pushing Kamala into a situation where she had to say, we're going to do something for people who are here illegally, healthcare wise. But luckily, Kamala didn't do that. She didn't say she was going to do that. She placated her, though. Oh, well, you know, I'm sorry you went through that. You should have told her. Y'all should have came over here legally. But she was scared to lose that vote. Scared to lose that vote. This is what this is about. Votes. Who is Kamala? I don't even know. Candace Owens is showing that they made up family members. We don't know who this lady is. She hanging out with celebs, enjoying a limelight with Montel Williams. Who is this lady? She got Jamaican accent one day, and then she got another accent another. I don't know who this lady is. I don't think y'all know who she is either. I don't think y'all know who she is either.
Empathy man. You know, for the suffering of other people, have you no sense of purpose? Empathy man.
Chalalalik.
These people are coming from roughly 97 different countries. The Swanton sector spans the northern border from St. Lawrence County all the way to New Hampshire.
And that's the problem with the messaging from the Kamala Harris campaign, and especially the Democrats and the Trump deranged media, is that there's no facts in what they say. It's propaganda. And if it's not that, it's their hatred for Trump that prevents them from telling the truth and showing people what the numbers really are. And an example of that is when they call what Trump is doing racist as it pertains to his message on this exact issue. Listen to CNN.
Trump today posted a picture of Hispanic men with
we got to listen to fake news? All right, we're going to listen to the fake news.
face tattoos and said, these are going to be your apartment managers if Kamala Harris is elected. That's a racist appeal. Every American who ever took high school history class knows that when you're talking about vermin, you're talking about bloodlines, when you're talking about people being conquered, Trump promising today to liberate Colorado, this sounds like Nazi rhetoric. This sounds like fascist rhetoric. It sounds like white supremacist rhetoric.
Okay, so let's get this straight. It's racist if I was to post a picture of exactly the way that these gang members look that have taken over these apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. That's more of a problem than the actual action of these gang members doing things and terrorizing our own American citizens.
They're worried about what the gang members identify as. They're worried about if the gang members are going to be okay with their picture. But this is racist, like these people.
Okay, so let's get this straight. It's racist if I was to post a picture of exactly the way that these gang members look that have taken over these apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. Hit
the like button and subscribe. Stop playing with me, Thug Life. We got to get this channel to 100,000. Hurry up. What y'all doing? We got to get that check mark so I can start showing y'all some real stuff out here on top of this real stuff.
It's more of a problem than the actual action of these gang members.
We're going up against like Young Turks. Come on, they got millions.
Doing things and terrorizing our own American citizens. Got it. That's why the media has become the enemy of the people. And that's why it doesn't matter what the media says, because at the end of the day, results tell the story. And when you have the Border Patrol Council come out and endorse former President Trump, I think that tells the full story of what's going on here.
Exactly.
Look at this clip.
On behalf of the 16,000 men and women represented by the National Border Patrol Council, we strongly support and endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
Oh, man, he's doing all, this is a grassroots movement. How much money Kamala Harris got? Like 500 billion, 800 billion, I'm sorry, 500 million, 800 million in donations and all that. This dude is doing a grassroots movement, going into rallies, you know what I mean? And rallying people up, him and Elon Musk, you know what I mean? Teaming up, all that thug life. And he's able to turn the tide to where he is beating her in the polls. That's amazing. So that's got to tell me one thing. It's a lot of racists that's, you know, a lot of racist people that's in support of Donald Trump. That's what it tells me. There's a lot of people standing up. They don't care what Cardi B says. They don't care what Quavo says. They don't care what Stephen A. Smith says. They care about what this dude says. I think, hey, they just tried to take Trump's life again yesterday. And we did a blog on that. It got 100,000 views. Shout out to y'all. Y'all was hitting the like button. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? We talked about it. We showed a whole bunch of videos about a bunch of different things, right? But he's still standing. When that North Carolina situation went and happened, guess who did a GoFundMe? Guess who raised money first? It wasn't Kamala. It was Trump.
So obviously, if Kamala Harris was really strong on the Border Patrol Council would have endorsed her, or they would have set it out. So on this issue...
So what is she really doing? Is she like kind of low-key defunding them? I'm just asking. I don't know. Maybe preventing them from doing their job? Why are all these people like stepping out that would normally support Trump, and now they're supporting Trump? I'm wondering. Remember we just had that, the union, the port situation? Biden was nowhere to be seen, and we couldn't hear from him. He didn't do no speeches, and that could have affected the economy. They were trying to do collective bargaining, right? We didn't hear nothing. As soon as they came to a collective bargaining agreement, guess what happened? Here come the Dems. They come out. This is why we support our unions. And the union was about to mess our economy up. Why didn't y'all say anything beforehand? Things that make you go, I
mean, the Democrats are just getting annihilated on this. So what's the next thing they try to do? Well, they try to use the Hurricane Helene response to blame Trump for misinformation.
And you know what we got to do out here? Let's be real. Vote for who you want to vote for. I got my opinions. You have your opinions. I'm in a different space in my life to where I'm understanding things a little bit differently than what I used to. That's why I jumped ship. I'm riding red, right? If you're blue, you're blue. If you feel like now you're starting to wake up to different things, you feel like you're red, Don't just go to the polls by yourself. Bring somebody with you. Get somebody else registered with you. And in some states, it doesn't matter what you do, the state's going to be blue, right? But it's about you having the opportunity to have your voice being heard. That's important. You're an American citizen and pays taxes. You need to be able to decide who's going to represent you. Don't be bullied by a culture. If you're in the hip-hop culture, thug life, don't let them bully you. Me talking about this, from what I normally talking about in entertainment, it is not a good thing for me to be talking to y'all about this. Because this can hurt my views in entertainment. But you know what? I don't care. That's why I've been going so hard. People get in the comments, why don't you just talk about battle rap and talk about entertainment, no! Mindless entertainment over and over and over again. And then you're going to be complaining about your grocery prices in another year. Then you're going to be complaining something going to happen to your car. You're going to need to buy another car. You're going to then work hard to get credit and now the interest rates. Wait a minute. How soon do we forget people? They got magical friends. They're called social media influencers. Mark Zuckerberg, thug life. It is what it is. Allegedly. They got powerful friends in powerful places. They got control of a lot of algorithms. What gets pushed out and what doesn't. So I got to do my part. If I got to do this for a month so that one person can think about going to the polls and changing their mind, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I just might go into politics. It is what thug life. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. It is important that y'all hit the like button. Because everybody knows everything about J. Cole, Drake, Nicki Minaj, all these people. But how many people seen a video of J.D. Vance arguing with this lady, and this lady saying it's only a handful of apartment complexes? You won't see it.
Blame him for why lives are being lost because they can't argue the immigration problem anymore.
Subscribe to the channel. Stop playing with me. Thug life.
So they try to do it with another issue. The problem is you can't do that when you're having JD Vance on and thinking he's just going to let you get by with that. Here's what he said on this exact issue.
But shout out to y'all. We got 40,000 views on this video, and it's not even 8 o'clock over here where I'm at. So shout out to y'all. Y'all have been hitting the like button. I want to salute y'all for doing that because y'all waking up. Y'all probably getting ready for y'all day, and y'all took time out of y'all day to hit the like button, to share the video. That is important. You know what I'm saying? It's very important.
Watch this.
We've got Republican congressmen who are on the ground who represent that area saying that they have to call the White House to get food and water to FEMA. I don't frankly think there's anything malicious going on here, Martha, but I do think that we've had an incompetent response to this particular crisis, particularly in Western North Carolina, which, to be fair, was hit harder than a lot of us expected it. But fundamentally, if you've got 6 days after the hurricane...
And moderator, I see somebody in the comments trolling. Let them troll. Because in my comment section, I believe in freedom of speech. You might not like what I have to say, but I'm not going to stop you from saying what you feel like you have to say. Unless it goes too far, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But troll, do what you got to do. You know, but at the end of the day, You can't stop me from going to that poll. Pause. I mean, you know what I mean? The voting polls. You can't stop me.
The 82nd Airborne is still trickling in. I do think that we had a fundamentally incompetent, overly bureaucratic response to the hurricane. So what you hear from folks on the ground is they feel left behind. And Martha, we have to remember, of course, I know this area well. This is the Appalachian region of our country where people have felt ignored by their government for 30 years, and it doesn't help when you have a response to the hurricane that's slow, that's halting.
JD Vance is dead on. People feel like they're left behind, just like the people in Aurora, Colorado. They're hearing from the mayor and the governor that everything is fine. The police have taken care of it. Why did...
Bro, I was just watching, shout out to y'all, you know what I mean? I watched Cloverfield on 4K, and then before that, I watched V for Vendetta, right? V for Vendetta is one of my favorite movies of all time, right? Guy Fawkes, you know, remember, the 5th of November, the Gunpowder Treason and Plot, right? One of my favorite movies of all time, right? One thing about that movie that they say in there, like, make me think about governments, right? The government's always going to do something to make you remember why you need them. But the interesting thing is, and he's talking about doing something like bad, you know what I mean? Make people, you know what I mean? Twin Towers, Thug Life, you know what I mean? But, like, they need to be doing something good to make people realize why we still need why we pay taxes. Because like they've gotten so far removed about thinking about Americans, it's sickening. They will sit there and give money to everybody else, look over Americans, and that is our money. Y'all have to remember that is not their money, that is yours. We should have say on what's going on. When Trump was president, you know what he said? He was like, we not about to be policing, we not about to be, you know, super supporting all these countries with our military. And then when somebody needs assistance, we have to flip the whole bill. No, they have to help pay. I loved when he said that. We need more of that, don't we? Things will be cheaper. They want to worry about the deficit, and the deficit is too high, this and that and the third. Well, how come our allies can't pay nothing? Isn't that strange? They don't have to pay anything? They can just talk slick about us. They think we slow. And we got to pay for everything. Oh, no. And we got to send our military over there if they get into conflict. And we cool with that. And we're just giving our money to everybody else. It's insane. Let's call taxes what it is, extortion. Because if you don't pay it, you know what's going to happen. But if we got to pay it, do something with it for us. Don't promise us stuff that you're not going to do. All this money they gave them, they could have did student loan forgiveness. Thug life. They tricked us. They did deferment. I'm talking about forgiveness. They didn't want to do that. Because the people behind the scenes, you know what I mean, since the inception of the Rothschilds, the all of that, build all with a thug life. They behind the strings, manipulating everything. So they always, those are the people that, the banking system, all that, we're always going to be slaves to interest. And they're going to make sure of it. You ain't going to get out of paying interest. It's going to happen. We're going to give this money to somebody else. Work harder. Dream more. Believe in it. Because we ain't doing nothing for you. This is sickening.
did it happen in the first place? Well, when it comes to the Hurricane Helene response, it's the same thing. The mayor and the governor are saying, no, it's all good. But the people on the ground are saying, wait a minute, we feel left behind. And then when you have the media that sides with the mayor and the governor instead of the people, you just can't hate them enough. And it just speaks to how out of touch these people are, especially the current president, Joe Biden, who thought that it was a great idea to make this comment to these survivors. Listen to this.
But I know from experience how devastating it is to lose your home. Several years ago, my home was struck by lightning.
Several years ago? How many houses does he have?
Didn't all burn down, but we're out of the home for 7 months while it was being repaired. The thing I was most concerned about was not just the home, was all those things, all those pictures I saved that my daughter had drawn when she was little, all the family photographs, all the albums, all the things that really matter.
I mean, he is just pathetic. Okay, no one cares about your house being struck by lightning. What does that got to do with the Hurricane Helene response? And again, it just shows you how out of touch they are, how unprepared they are to talk about these issues so American people feel confident. And the other reason why Americans don't feel confident about anything anymore is because they won't let go of the past. They're so stuck on the 2020 election that they can't actually focus on the truth when it comes to the Hurricane Helene response. They can't focus on the border issues. They can't focus on the economy. They are stuck in the past when it comes to former President Trump.
Exactly.
And of course, J.D. Vance shuts her down on this.
So I'm just going to assume that if I ask you 50 times whether he lost the election, you would not acknowledge that he did. Is that correct?
Martha, you asked this question. I've been asked this question 10 times in the past couple of weeks. Of course, Donald Trump and I believe there were problems in 2020. You haven't asked about inflation.
No, I'm sorry.
Yo, he be smoking these people. He smoked Tim Walz, and now he's smoking her. Miss Lady don't know what she doing. Like, you dealing with a thoroughbred debater. What you doing, Miss Lady?
Sorry, let's stick to this. I know.
American people want us to talk about how to make their lives better. They don't want us to.
Why won't you say that?
Because
y'all didn't bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not a politician. I think there was problems myself. Why did all those people in Nevada line up the highway in the streets in solidarity saying there is a problem here? All my neighbors are red. Like, how is this happening? How did they reach a decision that fast? People are wondering, wait a minute. Thug life. Like, people are wondering, it is what it is, lady. You want us to just concede and just say, oh, it was all right. No, I think what's going on, you know why they don't want Trump to win? The Democrats got some secrets. And you see what they tried to do. You see how much tax money they spent? Going after Trump, trying to get him convicted on felonies with all of this stuff going on in the world. They focused on that. They thought, well, if he has a felony, nobody's going to vote for him. Well, guess what, Miss Lady? I'm voting for the felon. Thug life. It didn't work. So I think they're afraid of a little retribution. I think they think when Trump gets elected, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And he might actually, he might go after some of them. And then maybe he could do a little bit more research on what actually happened with the election. Because he would have a little more latitude to be able to do that. This is why I think they want him to concede so bad. He ain't about to, J.D. Vance ain't about to go against Trump right now. Lady, are you Are you confused, Lady Thug Life? There was problems. Why did when Rudy Giuliani wanted to go in there and look at and watch them count, why was that a problem?
Because, Martha, I believe that in 2020, when big tech firms were...
I'm saying it was a problem, not saying that the election was stolen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was a problem. And there was an insurrection. People was mad. Because a lot of things was not making sense. Biden is getting smoked in debates. He's getting smoked. Next thing you know, he's winning by a landslide. Like, how does this happen? People have questions. How did y'all come to a decision that fast? That's all I'm saying.
Censoring American citizens, that created very serious problems. And by the way, Martha, you're a journalist. You represent the American media. Look at the polling on this. A lot of Americans feel like they were silent.
Hey, shout out to Theory 23 said, wait a minute, here at work, but I'm here. Shout out to you for tuning in. I know you busy. Joseph Hernandez said, I'll say it. It was rigged. Review Craze said, facts. Justin Thompson said, everyone is trying to discredit each other and not help the people. No, you're right about that. But, I mean, Trump did do the GoFundMe. He did give up some of his own money. He was, like, on the telephone poles trying to help doing things. I mean, I don't see Trump and his rallies going super crazy on the hurricane situation. I don't see that. At least the clips I've seen and, you know what I mean, some of the rallies I watched, I didn't see that. I think he was more worried about us moving forward as a people. They trying to take his life. They doing all this stuff. I mean, he's gonna talk about her being not qualified. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. That's gonna happen. But the separatist party, I feel like, are the blue people trying to separate people by race. I seen Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama, get up on a podium and try to encourage the African Americans to vote for Kamala. And she says something that I feel, if I was white, I would be very not happy about. She was like, oh, we have to work extra hard, which is true, thug life. But she was like, they're all just waiting on an escalator to help them. They're all just waiting, you know what I mean? They get an easy ride. Hey, man, when I be going to work, it be like white people working too. You ever notice, like, if you go in or if you go to a grocery store, it's white people. They work too. Checking people out. You go to a car dealership, white and black people selling cars. If you work at a factory, Kevin, probably a white dude, working next to you. She's saying that every white person has a silver spoon. Some of them do. Thug life. It is what it is. But not all of them. I would be mad. This is why I would be mad if I was white. I would be like, lady, do you know we was marching for your husband? And you gonna sit up here and say we all get silver spoons? Trying to create more dissension between races is what she was doing. Lady, do you know who out here buying your books? Do you think it's only black people? Like, we buying your books too. I would not like that. So they were focusing on separation. J.D. Vance is arguing the facts. Trump kind of arguing the facts. He takes his shots, you know what I mean? But she using $500 million to take shots at Trump on a regular basis, or $800 million. How much she got? Multiple different platforms, multiple different. He's at rallies. You know, like all that money she got for this campaign. What if she did what Trump is doing? Just going to rallies. And she used that money to help the citizens. Instead of using that money to further divide. What if she did that? Something you got to think about. Things that make you go, Just saying.
In the run-up to the 2020 election, that is such a bigger issue. That fundamental problem than me and Donald Trump talking about it. And unfortunately,
but
Martha,
I don't understand why you won't just say it if you believe it.
She's... won't just say what? That I think the 2020 election had some problems? I've said that repeatedly.
Did Donald Trump lose? That's the question, and you know that's the question.
Somebody said Vance is a weirdo who works for Peter. Come on, bro. Yeah, I think you just don't like him, man. If you knew the story of JD Vance, you would not be disrespecting this guy like this. Go on Netflix and watch his story, like the movie on him. Like he's been through the trenches. And like I always say with JD Vance, if you knew his story, him to sit here and talk as eloquently as he is, like he is, you know, what America is all about. You know, getting up, you know, putting in on your bootstraps, getting out here, working hard, making something of yourself for yourself to be proud of. And he's trying to figure out a way to give back to the community after everything that he's been through. Because I was just like you, man. I would see these politicians, they're sitting here in these expensive suits. His suit don't look expensive. It look cheap. I'm sorry, JD Vance. Look like a thrift store. Thug life. But I would see these people in these suits and I would be thinking, man, they don't care about us. But when I learned about JD Vance, that changed. I'm like, man, this dude gotta care about us. Like all the stuff he's been through. Shout out to him.
Martha, I've said repeatedly, I think the 2020 election had problems.
Kristen said, respect, dude. And then Meshia said he also considered Trump. Yeah, but then he said negative things about Trump. Well, I don't know if you guys remember in the vice presidential debate, he was asked, like, you know, you did say some disheartening things about Trump. Like, what do you think now? And he was like, well, you know, this is like after they caught Tim Walz up in a lie about China, right? JD Vance was like, you know, I have to admit that I was wrong. When I sat back and really paid attention to what Trump was doing, hey, I gotta admit I was wrong. I respected him for saying that. He didn't try to go on a tangent like Tim Walz. Tim Walz could have just said, look, I didn't go to China when I told y'all I went to China. I was capping. Thug life. But he went on this whole, like, I went to school on the GI Bill, and I was raised in a small town, and then she had to ask him again, but what does this have to do with it? Like, you said that you was in China, you weren't in China. And then he finally said, oh, well, I'm a knucklehead. Sometimes I just say things in the heat of the moment. What are you going to say in the heat of the moment when you're standing across from Vladimir Putin? If something happens to Kamala and you become president, you just say anything in the heat of the moment. If you've got access to the red button, you know what that red button is? The Truman button, I call it. The Nagasaki button. It is what it is. Can we think that you're going to be in control of yourself with that button? I don't know, man. In the heat of the moment, you say anything, you do anything. You literally said, Tim Walz, you know what he said, bro? I can't believe he said this. I cannot believe this dude said this, bro. Let me show y'all what he said. He said who he's friends with.
So I will just, that's what I've said.
Tim Walz is so dopey that he makes Joe Biden look cognitively sharp. Joe has said some bizarre stuff over the years, but he's never claimed.
Guess what you're not going to see on social media? Guess what CNN fake news is not going to talk about? Listen what she's about to say.
To be mates with school.
I'm sorry, with Tim Walz. What's his name? Tim Walz. Listen to what he's about to say.
Said some bizarre stuff over the years, but he's never claimed to be mates with school shooters.
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters.
Yes, Tim Walz is a masterful communicator, isn't he, Jen?
We talked about this a little bit when we were sitting over there waiting. I think Tim Walz is one of the best communicators out there in Democratic politics, and he propelled himself onto the ticket because he is such an effective, good communicator.
Bizarre stuff over the years, but he's never claimed to be mates with school shooters.
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters.
Yes, Tim.
You want to say rigged, you want to say he won, use whatever vocabulary term you want. I want to focus on the fact.
Hey, Gold Plays, shout out to you. You a subscriber. He said, okay, what the F Tim Walz? I did not say that. That was Tim Walz, his own words. Watch the vice presidential debate. It would be very, very eye-opening, some of the things that he said. And you're going to wonder in your mind after this, like, why did Kamala Harris pick this guy to be her VP? It doesn't stop there. It gets worse. Watch the vice presidential debate. JD Vance wipes the floor with this guy. I mean, it wasn't even close.
That we had big technology firms censoring our fellow citizens in a way that violated.
Make sure y'all hitting the like button. I appreciate that. And subscribe. I see a lot of people in. There's a lot of new people in here. Subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Our fundamental rights. The fact that you're so obsessed with what you.
And y'all can hit that super chat too. Stop trying to act broke. Thug life.
I use to describe this phenomenon rather than the phenomenon itself suggests something very broken in the American media. If we want to restore trust in American elections and democracy, which I want to do, Martha, we have to talk openly about what happened in 2020. And most importantly, we've got to talk about what happened afterwards. Okay. Americans being unable to afford the basic necessities of middle-class life because Kamala Harris is in the White House.
She's trying to cut him off because he's making too much sense. And then Roofer216, he's a subscriber. He said, I'm scared of good speaking politicians telling us a good story to get what they want. It's not about race. It's about the rich and the poor. Exactly.
Yes.
We're going to leave it right there.
Okay, so if you're getting value from this video, do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, you could go to the link in the description below. Grab.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing
I love her, bruh.
It. And
Rita, y'all got to get hip to her. She be smoking on the Democrat pack. She be wilding out. I like her.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. And we can't go too long on this program without some input from the ladies of The View. Here is some awful advice from Joy Behar. Not just awful, but full of lies.
I would say to those Republicans out there who are sitting on the fence, just do it this one time. Do it this.
I would say the Republicans out there that's on the fence, just do it this one time. Like, what? No. Yo, hey, Emma Ma Magazine says she is fun. She is hilarious. Like, she should be on SNL, bruh. She is that fun. She be smoking these people. She don't care. She's indiscriminate, like, sometimes. Like, she is, I like her, bruh. She is wild. Like, if you watch her, this is subscribe to Sky News Australia. She is amazing, bruh.
one time, vote for the Democrat to save the country. Listen to Liz Cheney. When everything goes back to normal, then become a Republican again, like Alyssa will become, and probably.
When everything goes back to normal, they've been in office for 4 years. Like, what is this lady talking about?
Listen to Liz Cheney. That's their big sell. So Joy wants Republicans to not back Trump, not back their man in the most consequential election of their lifetime. And she promises that it'll all be back to normal after this, that they won't go on these unhinged attacks against future Republican candidates. Only I'm old enough to remember when they called milquetoast Mitt Romney a racist, sexist monster. They did the same with Rhino John McCain. They've been doing the same with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and you know they're going to double down when he's the presidential candidate. So thanks for the advice, Joy, but I reckon Republicans are not going to let unhinged far-left fright bats pick their candidates for them. As for listening to Liz Cheney, a reminder that Republicans dumped her, and comprehensively, as you can see there. She's about as popular with Republicans as an Antifa activist. Now to a woman who may even be too crazy for The View, and that's saying something. Here is Democrat strategist Aisha Mills resorting...
She's smart. I like her, man.
...to dangerous lies about President Trump. And despite 2 assassination attempts in 2 months against Donald Trump, CNN saw fit to put this dangerous lefty spouting reckless lies on television.
We have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his book. He used to say he had it on his nightstand.
Say what now? Donald Trump reveres Hitler? He said he has Hitler's book on his nightstand. Trump has never said anything like that. He has, in fact, said he's never even read Hitler's book. And let's not forget, Trump is the most pro-Jewish, most pro-Israel president America has ever had. His own daughter is Jewish, as are several of his grandchildren. But let's go back to CNN and listen.
Exactly. I love that she be fact-checking. Y'all don't ever not let her be on this show. Like, this show is fire with her, bro.
To this woman spew more unhinged lies, unchallenged.
Donald Trump has had a very sinister philosophy, wanting to be a dictator, absolutely dividing people up based on who they are, based on factors about them that have to do with their race and their gender, etc. And when he uses language like this, I don't think that it's a Freudian slip. I think that the danger of a Donald Trump is that he would absolutely try to exterminate an entire group of people because he thinks that their genes are somehow different than his and faulty. And I say this with all the sternness that you hear in my voice.
Exterminate a whole group of people. That was on CNN, folks. Lost for words. Now, since we're dealing with bold-faced lies, let's hear from Kamala herself.
I love that she said that. Well, since we're dealing with bold-faced lies, let's hear from Kamala herself. I love how she do that. She be smoking these people, bro.
And listen to how she flounders when there is the slightest bit of pushback.
The question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't even know if I can. I might have to speed this up because I think they ended up hitting me with like a copyright before.
That the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes. It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. And I plan on making that fair.
Say what now,
So you plan on making that fair, but you've been in office for 4 years and have not done anything. I think Kamala thinks we're not smart.
And I plan on making that fair.
Say what now? Teachers are paying higher tax rates than the super rich? Really? I know this type of simplistic class warfare speaks to the low information voters that the Democrats count on, but the reality is that the rich pay, obviously, a lot more tax. The top 1%, in fact, pay over 45%.
She be smoking these people, bruh. Pierce Morgan, you got to have her on there, man. I love this girl, bro. She is fire, bro.
Teachers are paying higher tax rates than the super rich. Really? I know this type of simplistic class warfare speaks to the low information voters that the Democrats count on, but the reality is that the rich pay, obviously, a lot more tax. The top 1%, in fact, pay over 45% of all income tax. And the top 5% pay 65.6% of all income tax collected. That's from the 2021 IRS data, so I'm sure they know what they're talking about. Imagine how Kamala would go in a hostile interview. She can't even cope at her own rally when the teleprompter appears to malfunction momentarily.
We got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. We got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it.
Amazing stuff from her. Far worse than what we saw from Selena Meyer when she faced a similar conundrum.
She is cooking these people, bruh. Shout out to her.
Americans, I'd like to begin today whatever we have in store cannot be known.
Yo, she is hilarious, man.
And did go to the Call Her Daddy podcast, incredibly, where she faced idiotic softball questions, lots of misinformation about abortion. There wasn't much else there. But when she was asked about why she should be trusted, she had this to say.
Why should we trust you?
She went on a Call Her Daddy show, bro. No, she did not. Do y'all know what this show is about? No, my God. No, you did not, Kamala Harris. Oh, my God. No, she didn't. This is a raunchy little show. Let me show y'all what they talk about on this show. Our president, you know what I mean, or person running for president, blowjobs, hall passes, and frat daddies. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Out of all the stuff you could have did, you go on this show that talks about them jobs, hall passes, and that. No, she didn't, y'all. Sugar Black, this is crazy.
So I'll say this. Look, you can look at my career to know what I care about.
Okay, let's do just that. Here is a little of Kamala Harris telling us what she's all about.
You know, for far too long, the status quo thinking has been to believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually,
don't y'all get tired of that?
Nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator. You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all.
And yeah, I am radical.
If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
This can't be happening, y'all. The regular news, the fake news, CNN is never gonna show y'all this.
I am supporting the Green New Deal.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Get her, Rita! Rita, Thug Life! Get her! Rita does not play, bruh. She be coming with her facts and everything.
Buster to pass a Green New Deal. I am supporting the Green New Deal.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
Her government plan provides coverage, or she wants to provide coverage from undocumented people. She like, yay! This cannot be real.
The idea that we would have a president of the United States that vilifies immigrants, that wants to build what I call his vanity project, a multi-billion-dollar wall, which, by the way, will never get built.
Because we have a president of the United States who has created a fiction about a crisis at the border around his
Within the past 2 years, the amount of undocumented people crossing the border has quadrupled. Hey, hey, Lo Dixon said, I hate this stuff, bro. We are doomed. Yeah, but it's like before I started doing all that, like a lot of people didn't know this. They didn't know like her stances on things. They didn't know like her rhetoric. They didn't know how out of touch she was with reality. The fake news controls like everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody, but there's a lot of fake news, right? And The View, like, I mean, that's kind of a form of news. You know what I mean? The View's fake. CNN is fake news, allegedly. CBS, allegedly, too. They fake news. It's a lot of them. MSNBC, they fake, too. I'm sorry. Thug Life. Allegedly. They got the celebrities. They got Charlemagne the God. He making a turn. Charlemagne is making a turn.
Project called a wall. We don't need to build a wall. And by definition, just plain speak.
This is insane, bro.
Good evening and welcome to a program.
Candidate for president.
Now I'm sure.
Look at this, bro.
Old mate Bruce, given his advanced years, will not resort to hysteria and hyperbole to scare the American public about a second Trump term. Surely he is better than that. Sadly, not.
Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity.
When did Trump say he's like, what is this dude making up? Who is this Bruce Springsteen? What is he making up?
Sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hyperbole. So hyperbole is an exaggerated manner. Like, you're just saying something in an exaggerated manner, basically, is what it is. Hyperbole. It's not true. Like, illustrating something in an exaggerated manner. Like, this dude, bro.
American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone.
Yes, everyone, particularly the more than 10 million illegal immigrants they've let into the country, and they want to fast track to citizenship. If you believe Bruce's crazy rant, then you probably think that Kamala Harris had nothing to do with the past 3.5 years of the Biden-Harris administration. But thankfully, President Joe Biden, remember him, made sure to remind the American public that she owns every failure. She was critical to all the key decisions that were made.
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet.
She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. Like, what?
She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is in a
Hit the like button, subscribe. We got 74,000 views in here. This should be like 200,000 views. Y'all, like, wait a minute. Hit the subscribe button. We got to get this channel to 100,000. What is y'all doing? I'm showing y'all stuff that people won't show y'all. Kamala has been tricking us. Her and Charlemagne, they've been tricking the thug life.
With mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Thank you, President Biden. It's worth noting that he blindsided the Harris campaign by going into the White House briefing room to deliver those remarks. And it's the
Oh, wow. She caught him up. Man, subscribe to them, bro. They fire, bro.
Of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Thank you, President Biden. It's worth noting that he blindsided the Harris campaign by going into the White House briefing room to deliver those remarks. And it's the first time in his presidency that he's done that. So I think we know what he's thinking right now. Now, let's have some laughs. And I've got to say the Saturday Night Live crew have been bringing the laughs lately. And their parody of the vice presidential debate had some golden moments. This is
I can't play that because licensing agreements and all that. Shout out to her, though.
A reminder that Republicans dumped her and comprehensively.
You said, I love Sky News. Goddess Star said, I love Sky News. Jay is laughing. She be cooking. It's true. Shout out to you, Thug Life. I haven't seen you in the chat yet. Maybe I did. Shout out to you. Mesha B said, humble. His family can't own a business in a whole state. Not here. Just take the whole USA. Like, what?
As you can see there, she's about as popular with Republicans as an Antifa activist. Now to a woman who may even be too crazy for The View, and that's saying something. Here is Democrat strategist Aisha Mills resorting to dangerous lies about President Trump. And despite 2 assassination attempts in 2 months against Donald Trump, CNN saw fit to put this dangerous lefty spouting reckless lies on television.
We have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his...
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen this lady spew that garbage. I can't believe she's even saying stuff like that, which is ridiculous. All right, I want to show y'all another video. Shout out to this dude, right? But first of all, I cannot believe Kamala went on this show. Kamala is wildin'. She was so happy to be there, too. I wonder what her relationship with Montel Williams is like.
President Trump's plan to homeschool families. All of this is about whites. Homeschooling, auto workers, all of this is about white people. This has nothing to do with you, black man. Because as Obama pointed out, the only history that Trump has with you is denigrating you.
He must not be into hip hop or something, because Trump was on the Wu-Tang album. Like, Trump was like thugged out. Like, what did you, Thug Life? What did you talking about?
You remember he took out the full-page ad to have the Central Park 5 executed? I heard a YouTuber say he doesn't care.
Yeah, somebody said Trump was on Soul Train back in the day. Trump was kicking it with black people. Like, this dude is y'all be hey, y'all Democrats, y'all don't remember the 90s? Trump was kicking it with the black people. How don't y'all remember that? He was in the music videos. Like, come on, bro. We not doing that.
Care about that. A black YouTuber say he doesn't care about that. And you plan on voting, 20% of you under the age of 50. You plan on voting for him. Again, preventing World War III. Joe Biden has been a disaster for the economy, which is crazy.
What do you mean? Have you lived bro, this dude must have been this dude is in an echo chamber or something. How does he not know what's been happening the past 4 years?
You're in here all right, but only in terms of being victimized by Trump white supremacist agenda. Protect Medicare and Social Security. What does any of this have to do?
Hold on. Somebody said, AK Lev Jim said Trump babies want kids forever. What are you saying? And then Hart said Trump received an NAACP award alongside Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks. What is this guy talking about?
Do with you, black man. I'm telling you nothing except for the things that I showed you. So therefore, as Obama said, why in the world would you vote for a man like this? It is like voting for the slave master. It is like voting for the colonizer. That's what this is all about. That's how you look out here right now.
Like, old heads be scaring me, bro. Like the older black guys, because a lot of times, like people in general, right? When you reach a certain age, you get stuck in your ways. It happens to the best of us, right? And I'm getting up there, right? I got some gray hair, thug life, right? You get stuck in your ways. The problem is these guys grew up in a time to where the Democrats rule in a particular culture, and they will not let go. Instead of reading books to free their minds, they read books to learn how the chains was designed so that they can just be okay with it. This is lunacy. Willful ignorance. Stockholm syndrome. This is what this is. He cannot let go. You're so black you can't remember Malcolm X was Republican. Thug life. You can't remember it. Thug life. We don't all want a welfare check, brother. A lot of us grew up in single-family households. Who wanted that? Who incentivized that? Do you not remember, bro? Brother.
That's exactly how you look. Like you're poised to vote for the colonizer, for the slave master. And that's what Obama's trying to get you to see, trying to get you to see beyond the disinformation that has been.
Obama is trying to get us to see color. He's not trying to get us to see the content of each one of their characters. Obama should be like, look at policy. Who has the best policy? Read more. When you read, Who do you go for? Now, they don't want you to read. They just want you to read the welfare packet. Thug life.
Been flooded into your brains.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The lunatics are getting more deranged by
And shout out to a subscriber, Brandon Johnson said, I just spent $400 on groceries yesterday. I wouldn't mind some food stamps. Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like, it's even making you think, like, I might, there's some stamps up in here, like, I need them. This is how they got the economy, man.
today. I love it.
Somebody said OG was reading from a teleprompter. He probably was, man.
Absolutely love it, okay? Because the black...
That's why I couldn't be like a politician, bro. Like, I'd be like the teleprompter be up there. I'd be trying to make out the word. I'd be like, hyperbole and then second line. And I do believe. Like, they'd be like, you're reading from a teleprompter. Yes!
Propagandists are out here panicking in full force, right? Panicking over the fact that black men are saying, hey, we're done. We're leaving the Democrat Party plantation, okay? And the gatekeepers of the Democrat Party plantation are out here basically telling black men that, hey, you vote for the slave master. When, in my opinion, the black men that are deciding that they don't want to vote Democrat, these are the black men trying to escape, right? These are the black men trying to get freedom, right? Freedom, okay? But there's some people that don't want black people to be free of the Democrat Party. They want to keep black people enslaved forever, right? That's what they want.
Joining me now with the latest from the US is Sky News contributor Kosha Gator. Kosha, while Florida is hit with Hurricane Milton, which has
I will not watch this unless Rita's on here. I love Rita. I love me some Rita. She's fire, bro.
The state with ferocious 100-mile-per-hour winds, producing a series of devastating tornadoes. The vice president, the woman who wants to be leader of the free world, was kicking back, having a beer with late-night lefty TV host Stephen Colbert.
I'm just curious.
Okay, the last time I had beer was at a baseball game with Doug.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
There you go.
Imagine your house. You just lost your house. Your whole life has been flipped upside down. Somehow you magically get internet, right? Because they didn't let Elon Musk bring Starlink. You magically get internet. You're looking for the vice president to talk about this. And she's sitting with a lefty, Stephen Colbert, having a drink. Laughing and having a drink. Sassy girl said they stopped help. Exactly. Brandon Johnson says she is completely out of touch. Exactly. Meshia B said, you do realize Trump was doing interviews, but do you do realize that Trump is not the vice president right now, right? You do realize that though, right? You do realize that he went out there and he was fixing like telephone poles. You do realize that he did do a GoFundMe. You do realize he put up his own money. You do realize that he tried to, like, I mean, so what are you saying, bro? The vice president is sitting here having a beer and you're making excuses for her.
Ooh.
Kosha, we have hundreds dead after Hurricane Helene. We've got many more missing, injured, homeless. Hurricane Milton was about...
And like it's the name of the drink too that's just ridiculous. Like it's like a slap in the face.
There you go.
Let me show y'all the name of it, right?
I'm just curious.
The High Life. They're living the high life, the Miller High Life. They're living the high life. They're sitting inside a, you know what I mean, air-conditioned space. They got an audience right here, cameras. They got their brew. And you're out there with no house. No wallet, no phone. And she laughing.
Okay, the last time I had beer was at a baseball game with Doug.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. Ooh.
Kosha, we have hundreds dead after Hurricane Helene. We've got many more missing, injured, homeless. Hurricane Milton was about to make landfall in Florida, and the Veep is lying about the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, and giggling and drinking beer with Colbert. I mean, to me, that should be the next Trump ad.
And it probably very well will be, Rita. Before this hour is up, he's been doing this thing where he just takes live raw footage of her and says, I'm Donald Trump, I approve this message. Look, I think on a macro level, it is interesting to see that she's suddenly doing this media blitz, albeit with friendly outlets. It is, I think, telling a little bit because it's an about turn from the strategy her campaign was pursuing in the last 35 days or so. But the specific outlet, the way it was set up with the beer and the laughing and all of that, with the backdrop of, unfortunately, despite the evacuation orders, we are going to see hundreds of people die, and hundreds of people already did with Hurricane Helene. It's a fair point. It does come across as not the best judgment or a little bit tone deaf. And I'll make another second quick point, too. I get late night TV.
Somebody said, original one mother said the government made them sign to have to pay that $750 back.
And it's meant to be sort of fun and drinking and all that on there is appropriate. Millions of people do, but I don't think it was actually the smartest move for her because there have been memes on the internet about her, you know, maybe being a little bit more prone to the drinking and also just she's trying to establish herself as a serious person. And I don't know that that really helps advance that. So on multiple levels, I don't think it was a wise move, but you know, in the media cycle that we're in, it'll probably be forgotten and covered with her next appearance in the next outlet she's going to do.
You're right there, Kosha. Even Saturday Night Live made some jokes about Kamala's fondness for wine. I think it's a little bit unfair, but that narrative is certainly out there. Now, Hurricane Milton has made landfall. Over 5 million Floridians have been forced to evacuate, marking the largest mass evacuation in over a decade. Over 1 million homes are without power. Here's what Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had to say.
We have seen a weakening of the storm over the last 24 hours. We also saw it sped up, which means it's hitting the Gulf Coast.
Yo, shout out to her, but why is she making all these faces, though? Do she got to be making faces like that?
Prior to high...
I know what she's doing, but, like, the faces, come on. Like, she got to chill.
Tide, which we hope will help mitigate some of the storm surge. There's already been 116 tornado warnings with 19 confirmed touchdowns throughout the state, 9 flash flood warnings, and 4...
Hey, one of the subscribers, Theory 23, said, you know it's real when women don't stick together. Shout out to the women, thug life. You know what I'm saying? He crazy.
Additional flood watches with
everybody needs to vote.
Many more to come.
Kosha, this is the second major storm to hit the US this month, and FEMA's response has been widely criticised as inadequate and disorganised. How much of an issue is this going to be coming up to the election? Because this has hit multiple states. It's not just Florida. With Hurricane Helene, we saw Georgia, North, South Carolina all impacted.
It is, on top of just the natural disaster and the loss of life, it is becoming a political story on two fronts. One is it's highlighting another dysfunction in the government.
Let me see if I can play this dude's real quick. I don't know if I can play his because he be using music sometimes. Shout out to him though.
That's what being a man.
Support someone just because they look like me, especially when that person who looks like me doesn't give a damn about me. Kamala Harris, for her entire political career, hasn't done a single thing for black people, black men, or anyone, actually, for that matter. She failed to secure the border. She hasn't created a single job.
Yo, hey, I'm at 76,697 subscribers. I appreciate all y'all for coming in here and subscribing. You know what I mean? I really do. I think that's like 500 some subscribers this session. I appreciate y'all. Thug life. Thug life.
She is actually probably uniquely terrible.
So that tells me people are paying attention. I appreciate that.
At her job. Barack Obama, another person who didn't do a damn thing for black people when he was president, believes that black men should set aside our disagreements, set aside our grievances, and just take one for the team. Barack, we've been taking one for the team when it comes to supporting the Democratic Party for decades. And what do we have to show for it? Our inner cities are destroyed. Violent crime is up. We are living in poverty in too many communities across this country. That is the reality of progressive policies in this country and all across America. So no, Barack, I'm not going to support Kamala Harris because you said that is my duty as a
talk to him. Thug life.
Black man. No, I'm going to support Donald Trump, the president who actually delivered for black people, brought about the lowest black unemployment rate in our nation's history, the president who actually gave a damn about our community. That's not rocket science, Barack. It's common sense.
As you can see, this.
And shout out to Goddess Star. Thank you for helping people wake up. I appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out to you. And then Lil, thank you for the 99 cent like. I appreciate that.
Guy during the time Barack Obama was running.
All right, he playing music. I can't play that. But shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? I got to get out of here. Let's watch one more. This dude's playing music. I understand. I don't.
Do you not see
hit with copyright and nothing like that? Let me hear what he got to say.
He's dissatisfied, disappointed, really, with our.
This dude stole my idea, man, bro. Like, Don, bro, I was gonna get like an American flag on my. Like, come on, bro. Thug life.
Obedience. So let's take a listen to what Uncle Barry has to say about it. As always, hit that like button if you enjoy my content and subscribe to the channel.
Somebody said $750 per family in North Carolina, and you have to go online, and a lot of people were denied. Wow.
This is the world. All right, without further ado, let's dive in.
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail, and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Talk to me, Uncle Barry.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with.
Now he's like trying to make this a gender issue. Like, Obama, man. Don't do this, man. Like, don't do this, man.
Other alternatives and other reasons for them. So now.
What an insult. Did you catch that? The reason black men don't want to vote for Kamala Harris is because she's a woman. No other reason. That's the true problem we have. But of course, that's inappropriate in today's society to hold such a position. So what we've done is cloak our true intentions in a myriad of fabricated grievances. We've made up a bunch of reasons why we don't want to support her. Reasons that have no basis in actual reality, just so we don't sound, too bigoted. Ah, you caught us. Of course, Kamala Harris saying that she would have done nothing differently than Joe Biden has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of and I've been a part of
Shout out to Original First Mother, new subscriber. I appreciate you.
most of the decisions that have had impact.
The fact that inflation has been out of control, the economy is in the toilet, mass illegal immigration is the worst it's been in several decades, the fact that it's harder than ever to buy a house or pay your bills, and hearing Kamala Harris admit that if she was president right now and not Joe Biden, you would be in the exact same position because she would have done nothing differently, has absolutely nothing to do with why we don't want to support her. Also, it turns out 0% of black voters are Christian or even believe in God, right? And so it's not possible that we don't like all this abortion talk that she's obsessed with. Come on, man. More inflation, more crime, more illegal immigration, higher costs of living, stagnant wages, not enough hours on the job. Isn't that what you want, black man? No, the only reason you don't want to vote for Kamala is because she carries a purse.
He broke that down, didn't he?
You're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
Inflation is down, but it went up like when they took over. It went crazy, but then it came back down.
Trump denigrating me? What are you talking about? Are you talking about in the 70s when Donald Trump's father was exposed for discriminating against black people from renting at his apartment? Right? You could say Trump, who was only 27 years old at that time, on paper was the president of the company, which is why he's named in the lawsuit and for sure would have been aware and complicit to these discriminatory practices. So he deserves to take some responsibility for being a part of that. Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. But what about Joe Biden? Around the same time that this whole discrimination lawsuit was going on with the Trumps, in 1977, Joe Biden, who was 36 years old and a senator, is on record fighting against federal mandated school busing that was put in place to integrate schools, allowing black children to attend white schools, giving them access to a better education. Joe Biden at that time said, and I quote, "Unless we do something about this, that is trying to stop the busing, my children are going to grow up in a jungle."
People, do y'all see that? Y'all see what's going on? He thinks if we integrate, it's going to be a jungle. Joe Biden worried in 1977 that certain desegregation policies will cause his children to grow up in a racial jungle. Unless we do something about this, my children are going to grow up in a jungle. The jungle being a racial jungle with tensions. That's Kamala friend, y'all. Who is Kamala Harris? Candace Owens is showing like she making up family members. So we don't even know who she is. Yes, Marcus Chapman, yes. Shout out to Imoni 120 that's in here. Shout out to you. Shotty is in here. Shout out to you. This is crazy. This is not okay for Joe Biden to say.
Racial jungle with tensions, unquote. I'm sure the jungle state.
Isaiah said, I've been saying this for years. He's done that for so long and hasn't changed. He is a pro-segregation in the 1970s. Sounds like a bad joke.
Statement had nothing to do with black people being historically compared to monkeys and animals. Just an unfortunate choice of words, I suppose. But then
maybe like Tim Walz, he misspoke.
Again, it does make it look even worse when you learn that in an attempt to stop desegregation via the federal busing program, one of the things Martin Luther King fought for, I remind you, he partnered up with racist Democrat senators.
Let's do this. Let's subscribe to this guy's channel. Young Don Reborn. Fire content. Let's support him.
In the South that were proud supporters of continuing segregation. He partnered up with them to fight a bill that sought to punish schools that wanted to continue segregation by cutting off their federal funding. Again, let me make that simple for you. The government wanted to financially punish schools that wanted to continue segregation, and Joe Biden said, no, we shouldn't punish them for that. So you tell me what's worse. Donald Trump at 27 being complicit to his father not wanting blacks to rent from one of his luxury apartments, or Joe Biden at 36 as a senator standing in the way of black children getting a better education by teaming.
This is, my blood pressure just went up. I got to get off of this. Like, this particular subject. I got to get off of that, man.
I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
No, I wouldn't support a national ban.
Protect our LGBTQ citizens.
You're being lied to. This isn't even about supporting Trump. This is merely just calling out the lies that are bluntly told in front of our faces. I urge you all to think for yourself and look up the news for yourself. I don't care if you vote for Trump or Kamala, as long as you know why you are voting for them. In this video, we're going to be debunking the most common lies that are told about Donald Trump, because instead of the media telling you the lies that Donald Trump is making, the media is making the lies about Donald Trump. And again, this is
exactly. Shout out to Frontline with the $20 donation. He said, "Thug life." We all standing together. Thug life. We got to get Trump back in there. Make America great again. Thug life.
That he's never lied before, but it just goes back to how the media is coming up with lies about him instead of just telling the people what he's actually saying and giving the proper context. If you like this kind of content, commentary, reaction, and you like getting to the truth of the matter, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. Without further ado, let's dive right into this. Fine.
Let's subscribe to him. Well, I think he's liberal. Let's watch the video first.
People on both sides.
Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
This is something that they didn't fact check, despite fact checking Trump, which I'm...
Shout out to Shadi with the $10 donation. Life! Facts! We coming together. We're not playing. Thug life.
I'm all for. If you're gonna fact check, that's fine. I'm all for the truth, but at least be consistent. Because according to a common fact checking site, Snopes, no, Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. That's the actual truth. Joe Biden, Kamala, everybody keeps regurgitating this one headline. He said there are fine people on both sides. There is far more context to what he said. His sentence was cut off and the truth was just never out there. So for those of you who have never seen the actual footage, let's hear what he actually said.
Changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally.
I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists, white nationalists. They should be condemned completely. That is...
Yo, these Democrats are scaring me, y'all. They'll say anything. This is literally scary. Wow, fake news. CNN.
Is what he said in that same clip. But like if I let it keep playing.
You had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats.
He called it out for what it is. He said there were very bad people on the right that need to be condemned. The white nationalists and the Klansmen, all them people, he said that's stupid, that needs to be condemned. And he also said the Antifa and the people dressed in all black, they need to be condemned too. There were fine people on the right side that just wanted to maintain our nation's history and have these statues and it's whatever. There were fine people on the left who said, I want this statue down, it's hurtful to my ancestors.
What do y'all think about this in the comment section? Shout out to this guy. His name is Amir Odom. I'm subscribing to you, bro. Just because you doing your research and you trying to be fair about this. Shout out to you.
Regardless, there were fine people on both sides, but it's clear with the full context. Trump never said that the Klansmen and the white nationalists were very fine people. He said they should be condemned. That's the actual truth. Speaking of racism in Charlottesville, let's get...
I might actually have to like screen record that and throw that up on Twitter and tag Insurrection Barbie.
Right into he's racist against black people. Let's just go through some of the things that he has said about black people.
Let's talk about George Floyd. You said George Floyd's death was a terrible thing.
Terrible.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people.
More white people, by the way.
That's not racist. That's an actual fact.
Yeah, that's
the
a
way
fact.
that question was framed was actually very wrong, very misleading, and it was meant to like trap him or make him look bad when in reality, every race in this nation deals with police brutality, which by the way is at a very, very low amount compared to the regular smuggler criminals out there. Are cops supposed to be protecting us? Yes, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like every cop is bad and wrong. And I'm also not gonna act like—
That's what I said before. Remember I told you it's like good cops and stuff like that? And my particular situations dealing, you know what I mean? Car was messed up when I was growing up, helped me out, you know what I mean? Like there are good cops and bad cops.
we're gonna get rid of bad cops entirely. Bad cops are out there. It sucks. But to sit here and act like my life is in danger at the hands of white police when there are more people who get struck by lightning and die than black unarmed men get shot by the police, miss me with it. It's so misleading. It really is. And what Trump said was true. That is a horrible question to ask. White people are harmed too. Let's keep it real. All Trump has done is keep it real. Let's go to the next clip.
Why do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. What the hell do you have to lose?
Like when we look in—
That's actually a fact.
In our inner cities, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, the list can go on. And it's ran by all Democrats for years.
Facts! Thug life! This dude's spitting. Let's let him go.
We keep complaining about our hoods and our neighborhoods and everything falling apart. What do we have to lose by trying something new? That's all he was saying. I don't see the problem. What racist invites over 200 black people to hang out with him at his house? Because again, I was there. I told you, I've been about this.
What? They made up all this stuff about Trump, bro.
Been there multiple—
I like when he said that. Miss me with that. Hey, bro, you cooking, dog. You cooking, man. Keep going.
Times I've dapped up with Trump. I've never gotten a racist and bigoted vibe. People kept telling me that he was so racist and so bigoted. So what did I do? I went to the man's house to go and meet him.
Oh, I thought y'all said us black people don't like Trump. See, it's even like a lot of black people over there. The fake news will have y'all believing that we don't like Trump. That's the fake news. You know, JD Vance is dope, but if JD Vance wasn't there, put Candace Owens in there. Yo, oh, if Candace Owens was running, Kamala will be getting smoked. Candace will be smoking on the Kamala pack. She will be lighting her up in a debate, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, shut up.
I got invited.
So he actually got invited to the White House and he met Trump. Dope.
Some events, I met him, didn't get a racist bun in my body. Like, honestly, it was actually a funny speech. It seems like a really bad racist to me. What racist pours money into black communities?
President Trump unveiling opportunity zones, a new policy he says will build up communities in need by giving investors tax breaks to invest in low-income areas.
What racist works with Kim Kardashian to get black people out of jail?
It really is such an honor to be here today, so thank you. My whole journey with criminal justice reform.
What racist meets with the founder of BET, Black Entertainment Television, to discuss—
Talk to these people, thug life!
Racism and ways to be a better person and ally to the black community.
I came away from that meeting understanding that President Trump is committed to reaching out to African Americans. And in the course of my conversation with him, we talked about a number of issues, if implemented by President Trump and his administration, will demonstrate that African Americans have something to gain by establishing a common ground with President-elect Trump and his administration.
Actions.
Y'all remember when Ice Cube was under fire because he was like, you know, Trump is the only one that really like reached out and was willing to like sit down and, you know what I mean, talk about like helping our people. You don't remember that? And then the culture kind of went at Ice Cube. Was like, yo, what is you doing, bro? And Trump, and then Ice Cube was like, well, Trump he's willing to sit down and like help with this stuff. Yo, bro. The fake news have been lying to us, bro. Fake news is liars, bro.
speak louder than words. And all these actions that Trump is doing for the black community, I don't understand how people keep pinning him as a racist when he actually is the worst racist out there. Project 2025.
What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
Let's hear. I keep hearing about Project 2025 from everyone on the left and all these Democrats keep talking about this is Trump's plan, Trump's plan, Trump's plan. What does Trump have to say about it? Because the only time I've ever heard Trump speak about Project 2025 is when he's saying things like this.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right, and they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things, and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
Like, let's be real
again. Bruh, if Trump does not get in office, something is wrong, bruh. Man, the fake news, like, yo. Man, he is debunking all of this, bruh. Thug life.
Yeah, I keep saying let's be real because no one's being real. Like, he's saying he doesn't know about it. He's saying he knows some people who put it together. He knows and admits that it's very far right, the same way as a far left. And that's that. It's not fair to pin him to something that he says he has nothing to do with. It doesn't matter if he knows some of the people who wrote it, so does Kamala. He incited violence on January 6th.
President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital.
What did Trump actually say? Again, we keep being told what he said. We keep being told he incited violence. What did Trump actually say on Jan 6 at that rally? Let's listen.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully and patriotically march down to the Capitol.
We have been lied to by the fake news. Shout out to this guy. Subscribe to him, Amir Odom. Oh, his subscribers is flying up. Shout out to him.
The crazy people on Jan 6, that is not patriotic. That is delusional, and that is insane, and that is crazy. He encouraged
y'all subscribe to me too, Thug Life. Stop playing.
People to walk peacefully and patriotically. And you know what's crazy about that whole thing and that the whole
I like that he showed that because this is like their big claim. Oh, he started the insurrection. Like, you know what I mean? I like this.
On Jan 6 at that rally. Let's listen.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully and patriotically march down to the Capitol. The crazy people on Jan 6, that is not patriotic. That is delusional, and that is insane, and that is crazy. Right. He encouraged people to walk peacefully and patriotically. And you know what's crazy about that whole thing and that the whole setup where he's speaking in DC and then everybody goes and walks to the Capitol? I was there, not Jan 6 exactly, but an event just like this 2 months prior at the White House. Here's my invite. I told y'all I'm gonna be talking on my Dear Amir Odom, please see your invitation to remarks by the president to be held at the White House on Saturday, October 10th, 2020. It was a rinse and repeat event. When I heard that he told people, when everyone was like harping about Trump told everybody to like go to the Capitol, he always does that. He did that at the event that I was at. We all walked to the Capitol and then dispersed and went back to the hotels or went out to eat or went to the club. Except for Jan 6, you had the crazy people acting a fool. We still have more to go through, but it's very clear that the media is very elusive when it comes to telling the truth. Even when Trump got shot, you think the media in big tech would be very clear about what happened and let everything come up and be shown, but no, we've seen that that's not the case. Google and Facebook.
Somebody said Candace Owens before Kamala. I think I would choose Candace Owens over Kamala. I would.
Facebook accused of suppressing Trump attempted assassination. Let's dive right into this article. Total sources, 85, 12 leaning left, 33 leaning right, 14 on the center. So what has the center said about this? Google faced accusations of suppressing information about Donald Trump's July 13th assassination attempt by failing to show relevant search results. What did the left say about this? Google meta debunks claims they were hiding details about Trump assassination. Sometimes the real explanation isn't political bias, but faulty products. Now, we know these people can pull levers and pick and choose what to highlight. We've seen it be done. We just saw that viral video asking Alexa about why they should vote for Kamala, and then they give a list of reasons. Then you say, give me a list of reasons why I should vote for Trump, and Alexa silent.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
We know, and we've seen it for years now, this constant bias. What is the right saying about it? Well, New York Post, yeah, it leans right. Woke tech giant.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Oh, they fixed that. Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
I cannot provide content
They fixed
that
it.
promotes a specific political party or a specific
Google censors Trump and backs Harris. Google was accused of skewing search results relating to Republican president candidate Donald Trump in favor of Dem rival Kamala Harris. And what's crazy is that we've all seen this, and the left isn't even denying it. You go back to what the left is saying. Remove your tinfoil hats. Social media mishaps aren't always billionaire election stealing plots. Regardless, you're still admitting that the search results and everything was bad for Trump, but good for Kamala. It's shady, and it's one of the many reasons why I love ground news, because
Hey, the people who run the search engine, who do they donate to? It's something y'all should look up. That's scary, man. This is like really scary. Like when you think about the internet, like what apps do you go on? You're probably going to check your Facebook for the photos that you used to like put up. Some people go on there and watch Facebook videos, whatever. I stay off Facebook. That's liberal. You might go to Instagram to see what's going on, see if your favorite artist or whatever is live. That's liberal. Twitter used to be liberal. YouTube, I don't want to say nothing about YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Thug life, you'll see it. But, you know, a lot of these, and then like TikTok, I think is kind of liberal because they're scared that they're going to force the sale, which they already put legislation up to force the sale. So it's like, what do you do? Entertainment, the rappers are liberal. This is crazy. They're pushing like the anti-man agenda. So it's a lot going on, bro. Like if you're in America and you're being taught, like all of these negative things about Trump, like, and people believe him. And nobody has time to fact check because we're always like scrolling and looking at TikTok, watching Netflix, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get through the day-to-day life. You don't have time to really fact check. And you got all of these media publications putting out fake news. You got Steve Colbert, he's fake. Allegedly, thug life. You got this is insane. This is literal insanity. You got Alexa trying to get people to vote for Kamala. Like, this is crazy. Y'all better wake up.
It equips you with the tools to see the left, right, and center and how they're really spinning things between different headlines and stories. So if you want to get involved, be sure to click the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen. And for those of you that are international, don't forget you can go right up to this corner, hit US edition. You can toggle between international, UK, Canada, so you can always get the news that matters to you. And utilizing the unlimited access to the Vantage plan, which is the one I have now, you can use Blind Spot, which is my favorite feature that they have. It shows you everything that the right.
See, they're just trying to tell me. Yo, they about to cut the live, bro. Like, I'm about to get out of here. We'll be live later, bro. It is what it is, man. I'm out, y'all. Peace.